Hi everyone. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about United's season from an Arsenal fan's perspective, an Arsenal season from a United fans' perspective. So of course, I'm the United fan, and we've got Jonas Bjornes from Norway, who is a massive Arsenal fan, and he's been an Arsenal fan for years. So let's see what he has to say. So hi Jonas, how are you?
I am doing well. How about you? And
Yeah,
thanks
I'm
for having
good.
me.
So what do you think about Arsenal season till now? What are your opening thoughts?
Well, I think the season at now before the forced postponement of it was going better. You could see a more structure in the team and how they played. You started to see more like what I want to like to call an Arsenal way of playing. There was a clear game plan and strategy. Yeah, so I think it's looking better now than it did in the fall.
Okay. And what do you think went wrong exactly with Unai? Because I think it was more the players falling out with him and like the language barrier, and maybe he was tactically unaware of what to do. But what do you think was the main problem?
I think there were several different reasons, and you are mentioning a few of them, like the fallout with the players. For example, after Laurent Koscielny left Arsenal, he Chaka became the club captain, and that's kind of a special choice by Emery, since Chaka is, wasn't that or isn't now neither maybe the most popular player among the fans. I don't know how it is in the in, within the club with other teammates and stuff, but for the fans, it was a weird choice to have Chuck as a club uh, club captain, especially with his temperament. He could be quite. He could do some foolish choices on the field on the pitch, and yeah. So I think that's one of the reasons this disconnect between the fans and the thought the Emery had for the club, and that also came to when they the game plan was like he was constantly playing out from the back. Arteta also been playing out from the back, but not all the time, as Emery constantly was trying to do. And against good opponents such as Liverpool, United, and all those teams, and with not the most technically gifted central defenders, that's kind of a tough thing to do because they often failed doing so. Um,
Right.
and the fans never understood why it was happening. And I think that this disconnect between the fans and what Emery actually was trying to do also affected uh, how the players understood the thoughts that Emery had for them, and it just became a big mess.
So looking from the outside in, I could see that as well. Like at times, Arteta on the touchline was like trying to get Leno and the other defenders, Luis and Mustafi, to like play the long ball, play the ball out. And they were yet playing out from the back, and a lot of I think a couple of goals I remember all conceded from that kind of movement. So I guess yeah, the long ball tactic. I think even I've been quite frustrated with it at United at times. I don't understand as to why we play keep ball in our own defensive area when we're clearly not capable of doing it, and like not able to handle the pressure from the other teams. But even under Arteta, like y'all haven't won a lot of games, a lot of draws, a lot of yet defensively not very good. Going forward, not a lot of creativity as well. So, what do you think has changed? Like you say, you're more happy now. So, what has changed? What are you happy about?
It's always a good thing to have one of the former players back. Like you have this instant connection with them because they used to play for the club, and then they come back and become the manager of it, like you have with Solskjaer. And I think the biggest why I'm optimistic now is that even though it's not like perfect and there are clearly more areas to improve on, you can see that the game plan has changed. he has a more constant way of playing. His formation is more constant, using more of the same players. He making like a momentum, like with a few players, like 8 or 9 players are always playing with each other, and that creates a kind of certainty for the players themselves, but also for the fans around. They know what to expect. They know who's playing, and that kind of makes it easier to improve as a team because the more you play with each other, the better you will play with, the better you play because you will know how the other players think around you, which will improve how Arsenal play on the pitch.
Okay. So, I think like one of the common problems in my view, United and Arsenal both have is that in terms of the non-footballing side or even the footballing side, the management and the ownership are not taking enough interest. Like we have the Glazers and Ed Woodward, and you have Kroenke, and you got Edu and they, like do things, but like it's not working out. Like it's for both the clubs. So how do you see that going forward, and what do you think? Okay, like, do you want to shed some light on that?
I think the owners of Arsenal got a wake up call last summer when there were a petition. There's several 100,000 Arsenal fans signed with like wanted to remove Kronk or he had to spend more
Yeah,
money basically. And after that, or like first the owners publicly uh, they went out and said that they felt hurt by the Arsenal fans that they had this petition and that didn't believe in them. But reality is that after that, Arsenal actually spent more money. It kind of worked. It was a wake up call, I believe. And I think for both teams, I think it has something with culture. Both teams are owned by American corporations or American like ownerships, like who owns a lot of sports and other types of industries. And maybe the difference is that they don't have this idealistic attachments to the club. It's more of like a business for them to run. You can see this, for example, the owners of City or the owners of or Chelsea or the other teams. They're like it's more idealistic idea to have our own team and make them win something. I'm not defending the overspending on players or defending that some clubs buying themselves into trophies. No, but it's the whole idea of why you want to own a club. Is it for a business purpose to make money, or is it an idealistic idea to have a club and make it perform well?
okay. So, I mean, yeah, you've spoken about Arteta, and I think, like, in my view, also, like, I was quite impressed by the way Arteta came in and handled the situation. And it was kind of interesting to watch Arsenal play as well. Like, after Arteta came in, they had a plan. You said they had a structure. That's all. That's right. And but the results weren't coming, so I was a little skeptical as to whether he's the right choice. But as opposed then to United, Ole had a really great stint as a temporary manager, and then of course all that has gone down after that. And I know since you're a Norwegian, you have a soft spot for Ole as well. So, what do you think about Ole, and what do you think about what he's been doing at
Well, he has the toughest job in the football world. United is the biggest club. Uh, Unfortunately, of course, but they are. Uh, and with everyone is watching you, every mistake you do, people will try to make something out of it. And I think he started well, and he then had this down period. Um, didn't do as well, but I believe he's improving now. It's a more of a clear game tactics of how he wants to play, and it comes down to your down to Woodward. Would he let Solskjaer sign the players that he wants that fits his team, or is it some own ideas of who should play for United that not don't necessarily fit the way of Solskjaer's philosophy? And it's kind of hard. I don't know that case that much, but like from from my perspective, I think Solskjaer is doing a good job, and maybe give him 1 2 more years, then you can see if he has improved or not. And then make a call if he is the right person for the club or not.
Right. But then don't you think that Unai should have been given at least the end of the season? Because you say they spend money, but y'all only really signed Pepe and did not get the defensive players y'all needed. So you think Unai was then treated unfairly as well?
I can see that as a possibility that it happened. That there were the other forces within the club that kind of wanted that player because in many ways he's French, he's a winger, he's technically gifted, he scored a lot of goals. People kind of you can compare him to Ari in his early years. And maybe they wanted to make him a striker afterwards. I don't know, but maybe there was some disagreement on the players. But you're right. Arsenal is struggling defensively in the defense, and that should have been a priority back in last summer, and it should also be a priority this summer if the transfer window open as regular. I don't know if it's happening or
Okay.
not, but they should.
So,
And
so
yeah,
So if like you said, if the transfer window is opening or not, or like what happens now, no one knows. So if the season doesn't get completed and everything is terminated, so for United that'll be really bad because we probably would have gotten into top four, looking at our form and looking at how Chelsea has been faltering. Where do you think Arsenal would have finished, looking at how things are going? Do you think they would have finished in a Europa League spot, or would it have been hard to overcome the likes of Wolves and Everton and Chelsea?
uh, in football we have to believe. Um, so I think they would have reached a Europa League spot.
I don't think so. I think so they would have finished outside the spots.
I was afraid of that, but I choose to believe that we would have managed to get across that threshold. But at the same time, uh, this season is just a hopeful interim season for Arsenal. Regardless if it's getting if it gets postponed or what happens with it, but it's next season and the season after that we should start to see some improvement and hopefully Arsenal can again play with the big boys in Champions League.
But do you think
Yeah.
it's almost better? It's almost better for Arsenal to be out of Europe for 1 year rather than be in Europe. Do you think that would help?
Well, if the priority is to do well in the league, I think they should. It, it's not the biggest issue if they don't make it among those clubs who play Europa League. Um, but at the same time, for a club like Arsenal, it's expected to play at least some type of Europa League or Champions League every season, and it would be weird if they didn't.
I think Europa
Um,
League is more their
so
level. No?
currently, yes, uh, Olympiacos got the best out of it. They kind of, yeah,
So if you remember, we went for the preseason friendly of the Emirates Cup against Lyon, and I
yeah.
was also there at the City Arsenal game in December. And one thing I noticed is the fans are really impatient, and every mistake, every small mistake Arsenal would make, they'd start booing and they'd start jeering and they'd start. So, do you think that is a little bit of a problem as well? That they need to support the club a little more? Do you think?
Do you mean if the supporters are not, the fans are not supporting the club enough,
Maybe
or
the
what
fans
did
are
you
too
say?
impatient. I mean, like they're expecting maybe too much out of a team that is not there yet, or to boo your team in a preseason friendly. What is your view on that?
Well, I don't uh, like that type of behavior. I know the players are trying to play as good as they can, and there are so many dynamics there that we cannot. We don't have access to all the dynamics behind what's happening. So I don't like the supporters do in their own club. I don't think that's a good type of behavior. But you can understand the frustration. during these weeks of quarantine, I have watched a lot of the old games from when Arsenal played the Champions League, when they played against Barcelona in the final, when they won against Inter Milan, and all those good historical moments for Arsenal in European
Yeah.
football. And when you have that nostalgia, you kind of understand why a lot of fans are impatient with how the club is playing now, because so far away from how they used to play and how the club was before. Like the club, Arsenal was one of the biggest clubs in Europe. They were respected. Everyone knew Arsenal. Everyone was afraid of meeting Arsenal because they knew it would be a tough match. So I understand it, but I do not like that type of behavior.
Okay. Yeah, I understand that why fans are frustrated. I think I've been frustrated more times than one in the past year or so with the way United have been playing and the way way the club is being run right now. But yeah, I guess as fans, all we can do is hope for the best, as you said. So finally, I just wanted to ask you, what do you think about three players? What do you think? Which player would you like to most see at Arsenal next season? Which player would you like to see most gone from the team? And which player you think is not going to be at the team next season?
Wow. You should have asked me to prepare for that question. Well, I don't want to say a specific name for a player we should sign, but
Hmm.
I think it should be a midfielder, a central midfielder, who can maybe maybe in Chaka's role, where Chaka's playing now, with more box to box, and to better those dynamics for Arsenal. Um, and someone in the defense needs to go. Um, I feel that Mustafi has stepped up a little bit since Arteta became the manager, um, but you also have Socrates and you have David Luiz, and they're all starting to be turning 30 or close to, and maybe Arsenal needs some better younger defenders or more dynamic that actually have technical skills but can play out from the back, which will give Arsenal more strength to play on. And
Right.
if it's one player that I don't see playing for Arsenal next season, I think that's I will take that away because I don't know.
I think the player that won't play at Arsenal next season, in my view, is Aubameyang. I think he won't be at Arsenal next season. I think you'll need to get rid of one of the one or maybe even two of the center defenders and sign a center defender as well in return. So those are the three players I'd see at Arsenal. What do you think of United? Any thoughts on United? Any player you think we need to complete the squad? I mean, we need a lot of players, but like anything in particular you think we need to bring in, or who do you think won't be there? And what do you think?
Well, I think United should buy a midfielder as well, um, and I hope for United's sake that Pogba gets sold, because I don't think he fits within the club idea of United. The club is
Hmm.
bigger than the player. I don't think he fits within those premises. So I think you should sell him and buy a decent midfielder in that role. And yeah, I think believe that would be a good
Yeah,
start, and
yeah.
hopefully my fellow Norwegian Ole can make some good decisions in the transfer market.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think Pogba should be gone and will be gone. He won't be at United next season, and probably need a center midfielder and someone on the right wing. Someone like Jadon Sancho would be a great addition to the squad. But well, let's see what happens. I'm not quite sure. But finally, I just wanted to ask you if you get the two or three signings you spoke about, and if United get the two or three signings United spoke about, how realistically do you think we would be in contention to compete for the league?
I think United is pretty close. Well, it's really difficult to beat Liverpool uh, right now. They are much better than all the other teams in the Premier League. Uh, but that can easily change, and I'm pretty confident that United will play Champions League next season. They or next season they will at least reach the top four and maybe top three or top two. I don't know. For Arsenal, we'll probably play a Europa League a few more seasons, and then hopefully we can have build up our momentum and then get back to the top four and play Champions League again.
Yeah, I kind of like your summary. I don't want Arsenal anywhere near the top four anyway, and I do think that United can compete. We have the squad to compete at least, and then of course in football anything goes. And I don't know if Ole is the right man to take us there. And with Arsenal, I'm not sure. I feel too much is broken, and like there's too much deadwood in the squad, and the Glaze and Kroenke and is just not invested enough in the club. So yeah, I think both our clubs are going through some times we've not seen in a lot of years. Maybe you've seen it more than at least United have, but hopefully we'll get through it. No,
Of course, you have to stay positive. That's the spirit of football. Always
okay,
believe in your
yeah,
club.
yeah. So yeah, thank you for having this conversation, and we'll see where we go from here, I guess.
Thank you for having me on the show.